So as 2023 comes to an end, and as we're all preparing for Christmas and preparing for Christmas Eve services, I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look back at 2023 and some of my favorite gear that came out this year. So today I want to share with you my top 5 pedals of 2023. Let's get into it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Sunday Tone. Hey, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to the channel to help support the videos that I make. And if you enjoy these videos, I encourage you to head on over to Instagram and follow Sunday Tone on Instagram, where I will be posting a bunch of different videos and content as well. So there is one rule that I had for this list that I'm about to share with you, and that is all of these pedals are pedals that I have actually used live, that I've actually had on my board, and most of these I have videos that I've made about them, so I'll try to link all of those up above or down in the description, and I encourage you to check those out if you want to learn more about any of these pedals. And then at the end, I'll share some honorable mentions, some pedals that I definitely have on my list, but I just haven't gotten in here to review or to play with yet. So kicking off my list of my top 5 pedals for 2023 is the 1981 Inventions LVL. And this pedal is a dirty boost. It's more of a low gain drive pedal compared to 1981 Inventions DRV. And if you're familiar with the DRV, it is a more higher gain pedal that is loved by a lot of people, myself included. I've had one on a bunch of my boards, really love that pedal. So when the LVL was announced this year, I was really quickly interested in picking it up. And I had a lot of fun with this pedal. I actually don't have it on my board anymore because I gave it away in a giveaway to one of you guys. So in the future, I'm looking forward to picking up another one because I miss it that much. I think it's a great pedal, super unique. You can use it as a boost to kind of boost some of your other drive pedals, or you can use it as a lead boost kind of at the end of your drive pedals. There's a bunch of different uses for it. You could even use it as kind of like a preamp and to kind of color your sound and shape your tone. Just a super unique drive pedal and boost. And I've kind of been getting more into boost pedals the past, year, and I'm excited next year to kind of try some more of those. But this is definitely my favorite drive pedal of the year, and I'll link my video here for you if you want to watch more clips of it, and I'll kind of play a sample of it here. But that is my number 5 pedal of 2023. So coming in at number 4 on my list for 2023 is the Bondi Effects Squish as Compressor. And I really love all the pedals that Bondi Effects has come out with. I've had a bunch of them on my board in the past. And if you know anything about the boards I've been using over the past few years, is I have over the past few years gotten rid of compressors altogether and haven't been using them. I kind of looked at it as a luxury or something I really didn't need on my board, and more recently I've been missing them, and I was just waiting for the right one to come out or the right one to catch my eye. And when this pedal was announced, I pretty much ordered one right away because it has all of the features in a compressor that I would want and none of the ones that I really don't need or don't really feel like messing with. So it has a ratio and a sensitivity control or a threshold control. It has a blend knob, which is super important to the way I like to use compressors as kind of like an always on compressor. But you don't really have to mess with the attack and release controls. It kind of dynamically controls those for you, as well as it has a tone control, which is really nice for kind of bringing back some of that sparkle. But it's a super transparent compressor. And another thing that I really love about it is the display here that kind of shows you, how much of your signal that you're reducing, how much compression is being applied to the signal, which is really nice to see when you're kind of adjusting the ratio and the sensitivity. Being able to see how much the signal is actually being compressed makes it a little bit more intuitive to use the compressor on the fly. Soon I'm going to be putting up a full demo of this pedal and breaking down more of what I love about it. But there's a bunch of great videos out there already about it. And if you're looking for a transparent kind of always on compressor that you can use in a bunch of different ways, it's kind of a Swiss Army knife compressor, I would really look at this pedal. Really love it, and you should check it out. So next up, coming in at 3 on my list is the Strymon Cloudburst. And this is an amazing reverb pedal. There's tons of demos out there. I've actually done a couple different videos using it on acoustic, using it for more ambient stuff, and using it for more kind of standard reverbs. So I'll link those below. Definitely go check those out if you haven't yet. But it's basically the cloud reverb sound out of the big sky put into a small format, and it actually has a couple different features in it, like the ensemble switch here that kind of lets you introduce like a pad sound underneath if you're playing. Super cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, and this is kind of our introduction from Strymon into their small format pedals. I really love these. I hope they put out more of them in the future, but this thing sounds amazing, and you can do a lot of different things with it. And for me, I think it's fun to have different reverb pedals on your board and kind of stack them together to kind of get unique sounds. So this is one that is great for that. If you want to get this, stack it with another reverb, you can get all kinds of different textures and all kinds of different sounds by setting your board up that way. But if you are looking for a super simple kind of what you see is what you get reverb pedal that does the ambient sounds, that does some of the kind of pad sounding things that this can do, this is one of the best ones to look at. There's a couple other reverb pedals that came out this year that I'm going to talk about as well, but this is definitely one of my favorites. So coming in at number 2 on my list is another reverb pedal. It is the Jet Pedals Revelation Reverb. And this is kind of a redesign of the Jet Pedals Revelation. And they kind of went back to the drawing board, added a bunch of stuff that everyone had been asking for. And this is pretty much an all-in-one do everything kind of reverb. And the sounds in it sound just as good as bigger pedals like the Big Sky, the Strymon, the Meris stuff, but in a really small, easy to navigate package. And that's what I love about it. You can stack it with other reverbs. You can get your standard reverbs out of it. You can get your more ambient modulated sounds out of it. It can pretty much do everything that you want. And this pedal was really special to me because I got to be part of Jet Pedals' pedal tester program, and I got a pre-production version of the pedal, and myself as well as a group of others were able to provide feedback about tweaking, some of the algorithms in it, some of the different sounds in it. But I really love this reverb. It has a spring, a plate, a room reverb, so some of your kind of standard reverbs, and then it also has their famous modulated reverb sound in here, a shimmer reverb, as well as an anti-shimmer with kind of a lower octave sound. So you can get a bunch of different sounds out of this. I've made some different videos about this pedal, so I will link them and share some of those samples as well. But if you were looking for a reverb that doesn't take up a lot of space and kind of can cover all those sounds, this is the one to get. All right, so we've made it to the end of the list. It's time to share with you my #1 pedal of 2023. But before I do, stick around after this for the honorable mentions to hear some of the pedals that I'm excited to try out in 2024. All right. So coming in at #1 on my list, my favorite pedal of 2023. This is a pedal that I have used in a ton of different videos that I've made videos about, but I've also used it to demo a ton of different pedals. It is none other than the IK Multimedia Tonex pedal. And this is one of my favorite pedals just because of the amazing amp sounds that you can get out of it. If you're looking for an amp modeler, an amp simulator, something that can capture an amp sound and be used to play that back, playing live or for recording, this would be my top pick. I think the sounds and the amp tones that come out of this pedal are some of the best that you can get in this format, in this form factor, to go onto your pedal board. And I think it takes wet effects. I think it takes drive pedals super well. Does it sound exactly like using a live tube amp, on the stage with you? I don't think it does, but it gets very close, and I think it sounds better than a lot of the other products that I have tried. And if you're looking for amp captures, you're looking for captures to download and use with the Tonex, I will link some below that I really love, but I love anything that Worship Tutorials has made or Tone Junkie, and I use them every week. These are the captures, and this is the pedal that I'm using to get my amp sound on Sunday mornings. So if you haven't tried an amp sim or an amp capture device to use on your pedal board instead of an amp, I think 2024 is a great time to get into that. I think the Tonex pedal is a great introduction to that. I think it's super simple to use, but at the same time, you can tweak the EQ a ton. You can get amp captures, you can get pedal captures, you can do a lot with this unit, and it's super straightforward, super easy to use, and I just love it. I think it would be awesome if in 2024 they'd come out with a version that had stereo ins or had the ability to run 2 different amps at the same time. That would be awesome, but for now, this is really it for me as far as amp modelers and amp simulators go. All right, so now I want to share with you 3 pedals that are my honorable mentions for 2023. These are pedals I haven't had a chance to get in yet, that I haven't had a chance to try, but they are on my list, and I think they're super unique, super cool pedals that came out this year, and I wanted to mention them to you, and I will link to some demos of them below, but if you haven't checked out these pedals yet, you really should. So the first pedal that I want to mention is the Meris MercuryX modular reverb. And one of the first pedals that I demoed on this channel was actually the Mercury 7. And the MercuryX kind of takes the sounds out of that pedal and just expands it further, allows you to kind of build whatever reverb sound you have in your head, and just adds more algorithms and more capability to what the Mercury 7 started with. So if you are looking for a big box reverb, one that is programmable, that has tons of presets, that can pretty much do any reverb sound that you can think of. I think the MercuryX right now is the one to go for. Things like the Big Sky and some of the other units that you see a lot of people use have been out for a really long time and really haven't seen many updates at all. And I think the interface of the MercuryX as well as the LVX is really cool. I like that both of those pedals give you 4-foot switches, and just more capability that you can do with the pedal. I'm excited to try this out next year, and I think it is one of the best reverb pedals that you can get right now. So the second pedal that I want to mention is the Chroma console by Hologram Electronics. And this is kind of an all-in-one modulation, does a bunch of different sounds, but it kind of creates like a unique soundscape type of pedal. I think there is only a pre-order list for it right now because the initial ones sold out like immediately. But I love the pedals that this company comes out with, like the Microcosm. It's kind of a unique thing that lets you build these kind of 4 different sounds and kind of mix them in any order that you want. But if you're looking for a modulation pedal or a kind of a unique pedal that can help you create textures and different kind of like soundscape type things, I think this is a great pedal for that. I'll link some demos of it below, but it's definitely one of my top pedals to check out next. So the third and final pedal that I want to mention is the Chase Bliss Mood Mark II. And this is a pedal that Chase Bliss announced earlier this year that took the original Mood and added stereo to it, as well as some other updates that they made to the pedal. But it's kind of like an ambient machine type pedal. It has a micro looper in it, as well as a delay and a reverb. And it just allows you to create kind of different ambient soundscapes or like pads underneath your playing. But if you're looking for a fun ambient kind of glitchy delay, reverb, micro loop type pedal, this is definitely one that should be on your list. And I will link some demos and some samples below, but I think sounds awesome, and there's a lot of really cool, unique things you can do with it. So that's it. Those are my top pedals of 2023. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what your favorite pedals of the year are. Let me know if there's any pedals you're excited to put on your board in 2024. But I want to thank you all for checking out my videos this year. Thank you all who have subscribed to the channel. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you all in the next one.